first episode of version 2 of F&M Show. So welcome Nitin to the F&M Show, and towards the topic outside insights, I think we want to take us further into along with the
Sure. Thank you very much. First of all, it's a pleasure to always be interacting with you guys, and I'm really excited to see that how this next half an hour go without any technical glitch. And I trust Social Samosa 100% that these guys do a great job. So I'm sure this will work well. So my name is Nitin. I am currently Director for Agency Partnerships at Meltwater. I look into strategic partnership with digital PR, marketing agencies in terms of helping them understand the value of social media, online media intelligence, and they can leverage Meltwater solutions for their clients. That is what day-to-day role is. In the evening, I normally sit down and learn a little more about social media, online media, and of course, big data. And the latest excitement for me is Outside Insight, which is where Meltwater is heading towards. Directly kicking to the topic as Malhar indicated. So Outside Insight is a very interesting concept. What it means is this, that we today do not have a control of a lot of online content available to the people, like public content. This content is maybe on job sites, it could be on travel sites, there are e-commerce sites where there are a lot of information available, and these are valuable information, but there is no particular way in which we can correlate all of that together, bring into one particular platform, and then give some meaningful insights to the customers. So, so what Outside Insight basically means is to analyze content or data which is beyond the firewall. So we bring it within the firewall and then try to analyze that. So I will put that through, and of course during the course of discussion we can discuss a little more on this aspect altogether.
Yeah.
Falguni, over to you.
Yeah. So I was thinking about how Outside Insights is a very useful concept when you are looking at recruitments. Because when major companies recruit people of a certain stature, of course, there's a portfolio that they hand over, there are documents that they hand over, but there's a lot happening in their social media life. So do you think in recruitments, Outside Insight is a great concept, and your company also helps clients with that?
Yeah, I think so. In fact, in that front, I would simply say that there are lots of, already there are a lot of companies, those who are working on that particular area, those who are analyzing your behavior on social media and bringing that all together. One of the examples is crystalknows.com. It is a very, very interesting place where you just simply go in, type in a particular person's name, and they will find out who the profile is, and then give you a correlation between your own behavior and their behavior together, and give you that insight. That is just one part of Outside Insight. But what I'm talking about is a much bigger audience altogether, much bigger. I can just give you a simple example. I can understand today just by, if I just pick up and do a little bit of research online, I will understand what kind of ad spends does, let's say, a Tata company have, let's say Tata Global Starbucks have. I will be able to understand what kind of sales does Barista have. And maybe I'll also be able to understand how many people did CCD hire in the last quarter. Now, just imagine I bring all these three, brackets or buckets all together under one dashboard, and suddenly the CEO or the CXO can now understand market movements in various other aspects, and then can two things together to bring more meaningful insights. That is how Outside Insight will work in future as well. There is a lot of data available. The only way how we churn that information, which is available online, and then give meaningful insights for companies going forward.
Okay.
You want me to take the next question, Falguni?
Yeah. So I was looking at how social listening as a space is growing, and how are brands working on this space, and how are they building up insights purely based social listening, which is like non-intrusive for your respondents and for your target audiences. So how are brands looking at social listening?
See, I think so. Social listening has evolved a lot over a period of time. I would say that before we talk about social listening, we should actually understand the expansion of social media in itself.
Right.
Now, social media has not been limited to only Facebook or Twitter or Snapchat or WhatsApp. You're seeing every day ecosystem is developing today. You know, in a very short span of time, today Flipkart has become a social media platform in itself. You know, Snapdeal has become a social media platform in itself. And why do you think so? Because there are a lot of users, those who are buying products and then writing their reviews, their experience on a platform which is like Flipkart or Snapdeal. Well, of course, they go outside Flipkart and Snapdeal if their problems are not solved to Twitter or so that it's a more visible medium. But ultimately, there is a lot of content. Just imagine for a a handset manufacturer company, they can get so many insights just by analyzing the data available on Flipkart or e-commerce sites in general. You know, there are tourism organizations, for instance, they can get a lot of insights from what people are writing about TripAdvisor. So what we are saying over here is that there are a lot of ecosystems which are developing where people are becoming more focused towards writing. If I have to write about travel experience, go and write on booking.com or TripAdvisor. If I write about my e-commerce experience, I'll go in and write about it in the place where I actually bought the product, because then it actually impacts the rest of the people who buy it. So social listening has now gone beyond that level. We are not only talking about, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. So if there are tools, if there are platforms, they have to actually evolve themselves regularly. It's becoming so dynamic that they have to reach out to these places to start talking a little more, tracking all these areas as well. Blogs also, today every company, I'll put it in this way. Every company has a budget today for blogs. There's a budget for Facebook. There's a budget for Twitter. Similarly, there will be budget for TripAdvisor. Going forward, there will be budget on e-commerce reviews. I've already got, some kind of request from a couple of agencies, those who are asking that can you actually segregate how many of them are sponsored reviews, whether so you can see that people, companies are becoming more and more vigilant about what's going on. So social listening has evolved in that circumstance. Now talk about the other aspect, which is the aspect of how do brands listen to it. I think so. One aspect is about ORM, which you've already heard of 110 times, which is online reputation management, which is seeing what is going on online. But the other aspect is, as I mentioned, on the outside inside space, I think social listening has gone beyond listening about the brand. Today people want to understand, people have become more customer obsessive. They want to understand everything about the customer. What is, what is there, where do they go to eat? Where I have got requests from a couple of real estate companies, those who are asking what are NRIs talking about the Indian economy, or what are NRIs talking about Diwali. Because if they understand that, then they can actually lure the customers based on the insights which they get from this particular place. So I would say that listening has gone beyond listening about the brand only. So if a brand is only listening about themselves, they are way behind in terms of the learning curve. And the second aspect, if they're only listening to Facebook, Twitter, and popular social media channels, then also they are way behind in.
So other than the popular channels, as you just mentioned, Facebook, Twitter, and the likes, you feel the other non-popular channels are like your review sites, your Amazon reviews, Flipkart reviews. Do you mean to say that, or any others you would like to add?
Of course, why not? So iTunes, Play Store. Now you can imagine there is an entire world which is coming online and is coming on the smartphone. Handset is going to be the future. Data should be available on the handset, and if that is going to happen, more and more apps will be developed. Of course, the experience of the apps cannot be written on a consumer complaint forum. They will be written. Now, just imagine if there's a game company. In fact, we have an example of that who we recently brought on board. Their entire agenda is that I think it's a card game altogether. They wanted to understand what kind of reviews are people writing about other card games on Google Play Store and iTunes. So if they get that information, they can improvise on their product to pay.
So just again, related question before we move on to the third question is, so outside insights, when you are looking at, is it limited to platforms which have originated from internet and the digital world, or you are also looking at non-digital platforms?
No, we are looking majorly on the digital platforms, especially online. And the reason is very simple. But you have to understand the expanse is huge. It's humongous. If we are talking about job sites, sites which only index sales figures, which only index stock prices, sites which are looking into, European Union. There is a huge gamut of entire governments, public documents which are available online. Just imagine there's so much information, so much insight available over there, but there is nobody really turning that information for you.
Right. Yeah. Over to you, Malhar.
Hey, thanks, Falguni. So I really wanted to touch upon one bit which Nitin mentioned, the ORM part of it, right? So now it's not only brands, but even I would say personal brands which really want to track ORM. So how does outside inside really relate to the entire reputation management part of it? And because we see a lot of integrated marketing right now, so it's not only
Maybe I'll start with a very interesting irony which is happening right now in the digital marketing world, and that is whose media is it anyway? So what is happening is that with the integrated marketing, the concept itself, there are a lot of digital marketing agencies, those who are evolving every now and then, talking about 360-degree marketing, 360-degree analysis. Of course, these guys are doing a great job, but the idea is that what we are talking over here is just imagine how the system is working now. You put in a press release, there will be an impact of the press release, which we call the social eco. Now, once the eco starts happening, because of that eco, again, there is a lot of, of course, people like Social Samosa, of course, they write articles about the eco which is happening. And then it's a vicious circle happening again and again and again and again. So what we are talking over here is this, that when we talk about integrated marketing, reputation is not limited to a few places where you actually find it. It's very important that the trigger which happens does not happen from Twitter itself. The trigger happens from a very, very small place. And if we are able to actually look at that trigger at the source itself, the impact can be managed very, very quickly. That's the reason why information which flows at the speed of light, or the tool which can actually give information at the speed of light, is the best tool available in the market today, because the damage can be controlled as quickly as possible. So when I talk about ORM, as Malhar mentioned, ORM is a concept which talks about your online reputation overall. But this reputation is something which is dynamic. Of course, there are a lot of correlated things like your customer experience, your product, your service after the product is sold, the sales process. A lot of the people, those specifically the credit card companies, the problem is not credit card as much as the calls which you get because of the credit cards, right? And people actually exuberate their frustration on social media about how many calls they have received. You won't believe, today morning I received like 15 calls from the same number when I've actually said no about something. Now I will get frustrated and write about it. Any place wherever I find that my voice will be heard. So reputation is spread across in various places. So it's very important that you listen to all these. You have many years, or you have 1 year which can collate everything together and bring for you so that you can manage it together.
Right.
Super. Now, back on since you mentioned about it, and Falguni also talked about see how your outside insights typically on the teaching part of it. So if you are a career professional, how do you see the opportunities for people who want to look into outside insights as a career topic?
Well, I think so. That's an opportunity galore. I'm sure Falguni will be very happy listening that. So the reason is very simple and straightforward. Is this because, as I said, this is a space which is untapped. We have talked about big data earlier. We have talked about all these things. But if you understand, big data was a term coined by one big giant IT company, and suddenly it became a jargon. We are saying that outside inside will become a jargon going forward. There will be certification courses happening on outside inside, how to churn data, how to find data. So there are opportunities in terms of anybody who wants into research. The second part is on the software, the service journey, which Meltor right now, where there will be opportunities of people to sell or to bring in customized solutions. So of course, enterprise sales, enterprise marketing on outside insight can be there. And then one of the challenges which you will always find, which I hear every day, is that, okay, I get all these insights, but I don't know how to read it. I don't know what actions I have to take. You see that there's another career opportunity of people who can understand and actually forecast based on what they see. So of course, there are a lot of people, those who can do that with internal data today, but external data is very different ballgame altogether. So if there is expertise which comes across on that area, so consultation becomes a very, very big career opportunity altogether going forward. So there is a lot of opportunity as far as career is concerned in this concept of outside insight.
No, so that brings me to this question. Sorry, Malhar, can I go ahead?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, no, so because he talked about that you need skills, right, to infer those insights. So I was thinking of, as according to you, who is like on the hot seat doing it, what all skills would you see in a person before hiring him or her? So what all skills would a person require to mine those, outside insights?
So let me just put it in this way. There was a very interesting story I was talking about in the office today. It's like kadi se kadi jodna, right? So which basically means that how can you link different things together. So somebody who has, just imagine, this is a very good example. So we have seen that as Trump was elected president, suddenly stocks went down. Now, how do you actually infer to that thing? Okay, there is a fear in the market. But now can that fear be changed into, let's say, some insights where I say that I am seeing that there is, in my competition, I'm seeing there's a huge level of job postings happening right now. Okay. I get that information now. And I see on the other side, they have also increased the ad spends. So it is kind of linked together. If you correlate these two things together, there is definitely a new product coming in the market. So if somebody can infer that, they are prepared way before the actual damage happens and when the news breaks out. So this is more like predictive analysis, which will come in future. You will see that a lot of machine learning will happen. Artificial intelligence will also take place. But all these areas, programmers in IT sector, as I mentioned, for skills, as far as skills are concerned, I would keep it very simple. Somebody who has market knowledge, understands the dynamic, how dynamic this industry can become. Or can be, and who is vigilant, understands business in general. I think these guys will be doing very well in area altogether.
Okay, thank you. All right. So yeah, so finally, I'll put out the last question for the day.
Yeah.
Is that okay? So it's not a question actually, but say if I guess there are a few followers, few people watching the stream live right now, but if they want to reconnect with you, post the streams, where are the places where they can follow you, stalk you, connect with you?
Is that a question in terms of where do they find me? That's what you asked.
Yes.
I have a Twitter handle. It's Nitin Speaks, and I'm very, very quick in responding, so they can definitely reach me over there. I don't have a Facebook page as yet. I'm not that popular thus far, but if they find me on, they can easily find me on Facebook. I'm very open. And if at all there are questions coming across on this front, they can easily email me on nitinbhatia.in@gmail.com. I can put that through on the chat screen so that they can. But the best way is to actually go on Twitter and post in a question if they have anything to ask.
Right.
Perfect, Nitin. And thank you so much.
Yeah, no, it was great. Some of the points you raised are extremely critical, and it was wonderful to have you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thanks, Falguni. Good night.
Bye. Thanks, Malhar. Bye.